hitting you.
And that's been true of the Fallout games. I mean, there's definitely that sort of crudish humor, but there's always been a real, and to a certain extent, I think BioShock perhaps stole some of the glory from Fallout 3, not in any bad way, just it has sort of a similar campy 50s, 60s Art Deco mien to it.
Right.
And that was definitely Fallout's baby first. And so it'll be cool to see, they've always got old, aged, 1950s-esque ads and anything, all the billboards and all of the, materials in the game, pamphlets or whatever you see were always done in that style. So
Right.
I think that'll be really cool, especially with Bethesda's attention to detail.
Right. Well, luckily, I think that it will set itself apart from BioShock in that BioShock was very, like you were saying, it's very, very Art Deco,
Yeah.
where Fallout is a little bit more atomic 50s, 50s style, which I know, for a lot of people
That's
is
a subtle
probably
difference.
a subtle difference, but like
For us, it sure isn't, is it?
for a big design gay like me, I'm very aware of those differences.
And it is different. I mean, BioShock was fancy. Fallout is ruined. I mean, it's decades after the world has been destroyed.
Right,
So
it's post-apocalyptic,
Yeah.
And but I really enjoyed what I saw, and I really liked the character models for the zombies or the monsters.
Yeah.
The monsters are just really cool, and there's all kinds of different ones. And they also include the dog companion in the game, which
Really?
There's
all these games with dogs.
I was just about to say, this is about to sort of like launch into that, is like it seems like the dog companion is sort of the in vogue thing to do right now in games. We've got Fable 2, which has the dog mechanic.
Are dogs the tingles of the new century?
It's very possible. It's very possible. And so now we have Fallout 3 that also has a dog involved, and we've seen games with dogs before, like dog companions before. I mean, we had like Rule of Rose had the dog companion.
Fable 2.
Not too long ago. Yeah, Fable 2, like we said, has the dog companion. And there was Haunting Grounds, actually, which was a Capcom game that not too many people were familiar with, but it was a really, really, I enjoyed, really, really fun game. And it was another one of these games kind of like Clock Tower and like Rule of Rose, where the emphasis wasn't necessarily on the battle, but more about the escape and the running and hiding and the making sure that you're out of harm's way.
And did that include the relationship was the relationship with the dog an integral part of that mechanic?
Yes, it actually was. It was very much you could actually feed the dog and pet it and train it, and actually to a certain degree Resident Evil 4 had the dog companion, although he really only came out a couple of times, but if you rescued him right there at the beginning of the game. If you rescued him right there at the beginning of the game, he comes back later to help you with one of the big boss battles. And that was an interesting mechanic. So I'm interested to actually what I'm really interested to see is how that mechanic is going to evolve, because we've already seen it work in a couple of ways, and with all of the new things that they're all the new things that they're able to do with games now, I wonder how that mechanic is going to evolve and how it's going to look in the future.
Yeah, and I'm curious as to how far you can take it, because there's a certain point at which people's affection for animals is going to cut in. I mean, I know originally Peter Molyneux had talked about the dog in Fable 2 being able to get wounded, and that was originally an integral part of the game. And from what we were talking the other day, that's no longer true.
Right.
Which I think is a direct result of the fact that people, as I said to you, I said I won't play a game in which I have to hurt a dog. I love my dog. I can't play Old Yeller.
And she's right there.
She's right there.
She is Lena Dancer.
Lena Dancer.
I'll be interested to see
Shaking herself
off. And so we'll see how that evolves. I don't think that there would be. Though honestly, like look at Rule of Rose. I mean, that was a game where you had to rescue that dog. It was like hanging upside down from
that was also a game that got banned in several continents.
Right, but not because of the dog thing. But because of the child thing.
But it was a game that was pushing boundaries on all fronts.
Right. Oh, absolutely, it was. And it's going back to Rule of Rose, it's just too bad that the battle system on that was so abysmal, because it was such a cool game.
It's such a mature concept. Yeah.
Well,
I was
it's
disappointed
visually
too.
interesting and like a mature concept and a concept of a game that we hadn't seen before, like the hierarchy of children and how all that works.
Yeah.
It was just really
Mean Girls or
or Heathers.
Heathers, yeah.
You know, I really did. I really liked it a lot. So, well, let's see. What else have we got here on our little list of things
as my
to
dog
talk,
notices my
to
crush.
talk about?
And now
Hi,
your
Lena.
crush.
Yes, and just shaking the camera. And so, actually, I will apologize right now for shaky camera and possible.
And pretty much anything else, because this is, after all, our test run.
Our very first test run, and we're doing this on the camera on our laptop and not on a camera that's on a tripod. So please
Bear with
forgive
us,
us our
please.
little our little
Trespasses.
inconsistencies, if you will. So actually, that pretty much wraps it up now for our very first official GayGamer.net video podcast.
That went fast.
Yeah, it was. It was a good one. Well, you know, file sizes and all that sort of thing. We don't want to sort of
File sizes.
load people down with a
No,
well,
we
first of
don't
all,
wanna
it's,
load you
you know,
down.
it's bad enough to have to listen to us for an hour.
Let
but to
alone
actually-
look.
I know. You cut. And after we receive all of your angry hate letters, we'll probably never do this again. But no, we're very excited actually about having more video content on the site. And now that we have a camera, I think it'll be really great to be able to take it to events, and we'll maybe be able to like interview some people and
And it has a
have
really, really long lens so that Fruit Brute and I can be on screen even though we're on the opposite sides of the country.
yeah, yes, and that'll be the best part of all. A little picture.
That's a
picture.
walleye.
All right. Well, thanks everybody so much for joining us for our first video podcast. I've been your host, Fruit Brute,
And I've been your co-host, Tiny Dancer and Lena Dancer.
and we will see you next time. Bye.